things that I love about travel and tourism is that it can be such a force for good. It can do so many great things and it can help so many people in so many different ways. But it all comes down to careful management. And there are different ways that we can extract that good, capitalise, maximise on that good stuff. And one of the ways that this happens is through pro-poor tourism. So in today's video, I'm going to teach you all about the pro-poor tourism, or PPP as it's sometimes referred to, industry, and I'm going to show you how it can be that force for good that I was talking about. Now, if you are new here, my name is Dr. Hayley Stainton, and I'm here to teach you all things travel and tourism. So let's get started. What exactly is pro-poor tourism? Pro-poor tourism, often referred to as PPP, is a model of tourism that generates net benefits for the poor. It dates back to the early noughties, with the term first being coined in 1999, and was presented as an initiative to use the vast amount of money generated by tourism to help the world's poorest people. Strategically, pro-poor tourism aims to increase economic stability and mitigate the negative effects of local cultures and environments. Essentially, pro-poor tourism is all about generating more money for poor people in poor countries. It aims to improve their lives through the billions of pounds the tourism industry brings in every year. That sounds great, doesn't it? Who wouldn't want to go on holiday and know that they're helping somebody who might be living in poverty? But as with anything, it's not quite that simple. So how exactly does it work? There are three strategies which countries must apply in order to see success with pro-poor tourism. These are to increase the financial profits of poor people, to enrich the lives of the native community, and to encourage collaboration with the poor. As you can see, each of these strategies places poor people and locals ahead of tourists. This concept understands that people who live in these communities, whose homes and livelihoods are here, are more important than the visitors who come and go. The Borgen Project, a non-profit organisation dedicated to eradicating poverty and hunger, explain this in a bit more detail. They say that the first strategy of pro-poor tourism is to increase the financial profits of the poor. PPT promotes the growth of local occupational opportunities and the development of local businesses that supply products for the tourist industry. The second strategy is to enrich the lives of native citizens. PPT provides locals with availability to facilities and services that originally were established for tourists. The third strategy of pro-poor tourism is to stimulate collaboration with the poor. This involves promoting the participation of the poor in government and private sectors. In addition, it also includes increasing policy formation that supports involvement of the poor. Okay, so we understand that pro-poor tourism is about helping poor people, but how? Well, there are many different things that tourism industry stakeholders can do to ensure that tourism development and planning focuses on benefiting the poor. Some examples include hiring local people, donating part of the profits to the local community, building facilities and infrastructure that will improve the lives of the local community, introducing volunteer tourism projects, limiting economic leakage in tourism, developing tourism that involves the host community, such as cultural tourism or agritourism, integrating public needs into tourism planning and development, and giving the local community a voice. But naturally, there are going to be some methods and some initiatives that are used in pro-poor tourism that work better than others. So it's a good idea to have a look at some good practice. So I have a 10-point list of things that organisations and industry stakeholders can do to try and make that pro-poor tourism really effective. Number 1, PPT goes well beyond community tourism. It needs a diversity of actions from micro to macro level. This includes product development, marketing, planning, policy and investment. Number 2, a driving force for PPT is useful, but other stakeholders with broader mandates are critical. PPT can be incorporated into tourism development strategies of government or businesses. with or without explicit pro-poor language. Actions outside tourism, such as on land, tenure, small enterprise, representative government, are also key. Number 3, location matters. PPT works best where the wider destination is developing well. 4, in remote areas, the poverty impact may be greater, though tourism itself may be on a limited scale. 5, PPT strategies often involve the development of new products, particularly based on local culture, but these should be integrated with mainstream products if they are to find markets. 6, ensuring commercial viability is a priority. This requires close attention to demand, product quality, marketing, investment, and business skills, and the inclusion of the private sector. 7, economic measures should expand both regular jobs and casual earning opportunities while tackling both demand, such as markets, and supply, such as the products of the poor. 8, non-financial benefits, e.g. increased participation, can reduce vulnerability. More could be done to address these. 9, PPT is a long-term investment. Expectations must be managed and short-term benefits developed in the interim. And 10, external funding may be required to cover the substantial transaction costs of establishing partnerships, developing skills, and revising policies. Okay, so that's a really kind of quick overview on things that organisations can do to make pro-poor tourism happen. But why should we make it happen? What are the benefits of pro-poor tourism? Of course, there are many benefits. The main one is that when done correctly, it helps people out of poverty. This is one of the most important things in the world. Coming out of poverty enables people to have a better physical and mental health. It allows them to be properly nourished, to focus on something other than being in poverty. With 9.2% of the global population living in what is described as extreme poverty, on less than $1.90 a day, it's clear that something does need to be done. Pro-poor tourism is a proactive step in the right direction. When one person comes out of poverty thanks to pro-poor tourism, it creates a knock-on effect too. They are able to help others and advise their community. Success builds success, and the opportunities coming out of this concept for many are life-changing. The benefits of pro-poor tourism don't stop there either. If we think about applying this to our own travels, it encourages us to be a bit more considerate. Rather than choosing a chain restaurant perhaps, we might choose a small family-run business for our dinner. This way, the profits are going straight back into the local community. Being a pro-poor tourist means thinking critically about where your money is going and how much of it is being used to help those people in poverty. It might be a bit less convenient, but it definitely feels better to know that your tourist dollars are supporting poor local people. However, as with all forms of tourism, pro-poor tourism is unfortunately not perfect. There are limitations when it comes to pro-poor tourism. Of course, once somebody is in poverty, it's pretty difficult to get out. There may be jobs provided and money going into the local community, but where debts and taxes are high, there is often not much more that tourists and travel companies can do. And of course, businesses like to see a profit. Wen et al. Published an article in 2021 entitled Pro-Poor Tourism and Local Practices, and they found that enterprises participating in pro-poor tourism strategies provide a creative channel to reduce poverty in less economically developed areas and help to form a diversified group of tourism poverty alleviation participants. However, in the early stage of tourism development, tourism enterprises have to deal with substantial control and management dilemmas because of the large capital investment that's required, the small number of tourists, and the slow return on capital. In addition, pro-poor tourism relies on different sectors working together. Governments, agencies, donors, and tourists themselves must all be on the same page, and in reality, this is often quite difficult to master. Sadly, not all people who work in travel and tourism industry are philanthropic in nature either, nor are they entirely honest and transparent. There are some organisations that may claim to help the poor in order to gain a positive corporate social image, but their claims may not reflect reality. And my suggestion is that if you are planning on embarking on some kind of pro-poor tourism venture, that you really look into the companies that you are thinking about booking with or working with, and do a bit of research to see if you can see where your money is going to end up. I know this isn't always easy and it isn't always transparent, but a lot of the time, if there are organisations that aren't doing the right thing, somebody may have shared that information, and if you're the one who finds something like this out, then you can share it, because it's important to know this stuff. And what you want to do when you're going on a pro-poor tourism trip is make sure that it really is pro-poor tourism. And what pro-poor tourism really does, or should do, and it's done well, is it really maximises the economic benefits of tourism and directs those to poor people in the community. Now, if you are wondering what are those economic benefits, you can learn more in this video here. And I've also put a link here to the video on slum tourism, because it's a great video. You'll learn more. You'll love it. Watch that one too.